We discussed about Microsoft Word. We learned about the basics of Microsoft Word, text wrapping, positioning, and stuff like that. We learned how to build complementary cards. We build resume. We even learned about certificate and other technical stuff that helps you, makes you professional. In this crash course, we are going to talk about Microsoft Excel. We are going to explore the interface of Microsoft Excel. We are going to learn about the basics of Excel. We will dive deeper into functions and formulas in Excel that we are going to use to build our management system in Excel. After that, we are going to work on projects. All the formulas, functions, and terms that I'm going to teach you are just going to give you a solid foundation to build something like this you can see. So this is what we build for our association, that everything here is actually linked. If I click on Legon, it takes you to Legon Hall. If I click return to dashboard, brings me to dashboard. If I click Volta, it takes me there like this. When I click on this particular hall, common word, we have only boys. So you can see there are 27 boys there, or males. If I add a name, let's say Sam, pay attention to this field is 27. When I hit enter, it changes to 28 because there are formulas here. When I add anything here, it changes. Now it's 30. When you go to this dashboard, you see that this will be 30. When I go to the same page and I delete this once as I added, you can clearly see that it will go back to 27. So everything you see here is linked. Now you can see we have whole base dues, but we don't have any dues here as it stands. When you go to any of the halls and you add dues to, let's say, or say you give us, let's say 100, it is going to add up. Now the total fee for this particular hall is what? 100 cedis. When I add 20, it is going to increase to 120. And now when you go here, you see that this is the only one that has amount. When you do it for a Kwafu or any other halls and I add dues, let's say 100 for any of them, and I go, now all the other ones are going to reflect. We have this for males and females, and all these ones are working. They are very functionable. That when I increase the gender male and female, it is going to change this. We have this Nines logo here. The picture was actually square shape, and I shaped this one to what? This shape that you can see, circle. So this is 410. When you add student to it, let me test whether if I've not done anything wrong, then this has to work. Then this is supposed to move from, now it is 411. So you can see, go to Saba and add, let's say add a student or someone there, go, it has to move to 412. All right, something happened. So this is basically what you are going to do. So we have executive that links to executive sheet, and you can see this is Excel, but you can't actually see the lines, but all the boxes are there. I just changed the background to a different color, and as you can see, this takes me to this page. You can see I have some tabs, they have different colors. I have graphs, I have so many things in here. And in this tutorial, at the end of this course, we are going to build something functioning like this. So at the end, you are going to possess the skills that you yourself can actually use to build your own management system. Without wasting time, I want us to resume quickly into our file, then we go back into our tutorial. So when you look at this, you are going to start with how, okay, let's talk about the interface and some tab settings here. So when you go to Microsoft Excel, let me quickly take this. All right, go to this. Always go to your file tab, go to options, visit save, then always make sure your auto recovery information is always on 1 minute, so that after 1 minute, whatever that you will lose will not going to affect everything here. But if you don't do it like that, anything that you are going to save here is basically going to, more times, most of the computers are having 10 minutes. So it means Whatever that you do within 10 minutes will be lost forever unless 10 minutes before it's going to be saved. Make sure yours is always at 1, then you basically have to save it. Now, let me take you to how to insert pages and shapes. Let's start by inserting picture into this sheet. If you want to insert picture, you basically have to go to insert, you go to picture, you go to this device, you go to quick access, EDSA, this is the picture I want to use. So this is Education Student Association, this is University of Ghana. So this picture is here for you, as you can see. Let's say we want to insert shape. All right, we want to insert shape. You go to insert tab, you go to shape, then you choose the shape you want. So let's say we are drawing this shape. So if you don't want the color, you click on more, choose any of the drop downs, then let's type, let's say page 1. Okay, let's type dashboard as the name suggests. Now let's go to home tab, position this to center, take this to middle, increase the font size, select it, increase the font size, make it bold, and that's all. So you can see this button, right? You can basically copy this button, put one button also here, come here and just paste it. Okay, you can basically put it anywhere here. All right, we will use it very soon. Right, now this is how we insert shapes. Right, now let's look at the next item. This is how to insert charts. Okay, how to insert chart. If you want to insert chart, I think this one I showed you how to insert just a shape. You can choose any of the shape that you want here. Shapes, you can choose any of them. If you want this shape, you can basically have and drag it any shape you want. So just bear in mind. If you want to insert chart, let's say you have level 100, have level 100, and let's say I have some values. Let's use fill handle. If you use fill handle and you choose fill series, it will automatically increase them. And let's say level 200. We will talk about all this, but for now let us try to appreciate only this. So let's do this value, let's say 15, 26, and let's increase this. Okay, sure. So when we increase this to the one that we have here, you can see we have level 100 and level 200 here. Now let's find the total of level 100. If you want to find the total, just select all of them like this. Once you select, you can use control button, press on control, then you drag it down. It's going to select all of them for you. Select all of them for you. Now you go to editing. When you go to editing, then you choose sum. This is going to sum them for you. If you want to find the sum of this level 200, just have to hold this fill handle and drag it to the side, and it's going to find the total for you without you going to add them. You can also verify to see if you have 442. Select all of them, go to editing, sum, and the 442 will still be there. All right, now I want us to use the so I just want you to use only these two values, this, to create a sheet. So let's copy this value. Let's copy this value and put it here. No, let's copy and put it here. Okay, let's type it here. This is what, 6001, then this is 442. Let's draw graph. So let's say this is level 100, then let me make it just L100, then let me make this L200. So once I'm done, let me select these two and draw my graph. Go to insert tab. So you see chart, more chart here. So then you can choose the chart you want. You see the gap is too wide. Okay, the gap is too wide and it is not nice. So let me increase this to, let's say, 4,000. Like 6,000. Let me make it, let's say, 5,001. All right, so that you can see. Now if you want to change this chart, you just have to go to chart designs, then you go to change chart type. You can go to pie chart, you can go to donut, then you choose this chart. Once you choose the chart, you see the chart doesn't have any labels, so it is very difficult for you to see. This is called chart element. If you click on the first one, you can enable the labels and the legends. So you see now you have the level 100 and the 200. Now the second item is called chart styles. If you click on the styles, it is going to show you all the various styles that are available for you, and I always prefer this. But guess what? It seems the donut is very small and the whole inside is very big. So you just have to select this, double click on any of them. Once you double click, you can use this button to make the donut very wide or small. So I want the hole to be very small, so this is how I want mine. So depending on how you want yours to be, you can double click as I showed you, use this button, it will going to split, then you are done. You can use this to rotate this chart to the position that you want this chart to be, and this is how we insert chart. So moving on, we are going to talk about cell referencing and freeze panes. Okay, so when you talk about cell referencing, we have something that we call absolute cell referencing and relative cell referencing. We are going to talk about absolute and relative in our next tutorials when you're talking about functions, but for now I just want you to show a way you can link the buttons. So if you remember, we have a button here called dashboard, and the dashboard page is actually here, and you also have some, so let's change this from dashboard to, let's say, nav validation. All right, so what we want to do is we want to be able to click on the validation and it will take us to the validation sheet as you see here. And you also want to click on the validation sheet for it also to bring us to this sheet. So how are you going to achieve this? To be able to achieve this, you basically have to click on what? The validation. If you click on the button, you go to links, you click on links, then where do you want to link to? We have place in this document, we have create a new document, and we have email address. You just have to choose place in this document, and it is going to give you the names of all the cells that you have. So we have two sheets here, dashboard and validation. Now we are on validation, so we are on dashboard. We are on dashboard, as you can see. So you want to go to validation, so you choose OK, and that is all. Now this will turn to what? A hyperlink. If you click on the validation, it is taking you to where? Dashboard. Let us see how to link the dashboard button also to the main dashboard page. So you go to link, then you go to where do you want to go. When you click on dashboard button, you want to go to dashboard page, you click on OK, and now you are good to go. If you click on dashboard, it brings you to this. If you click on validation, it takes you back and stuff like that. Okay, so the next item I want you to take notice of it. We are going to discuss how to freeze panes. Okay, so when you talk about how to freeze panes, so sometimes you may have several rows. You have so many rows and you have items in each of the rows. So let's say you have so many things here and you want to let's say you have so many items here. What you want to do is you want to be able to scroll without this one going away, right? So I think I have it already. So if you want to do this, you can see the A, B, C, D, and the rest, they are all moving. But what if you have some names or some ID numbers that you are using this one, so you don't want the first column to move? How are you going to fix it? So that is what you call freeze panes. So if you want to freeze any pane, you just have to select the second column if only you want to freeze the first pane. So if you want to freeze from A to B, then you have to select row 3, that is C. But now you just want to freeze just row A, so you have to select B. Then you go to your view. When you go to view, there is a section called zoom and a section called windows. So under windows, you choose freeze panes. Just have to hit on the freeze panes, and that is all. Now you can see you can move. All these ones can actually move, and A will still remain. So if you have some values here that you just want to type, A will still be there, and you will be able to manage the rest, as you can see, right? So this is what we call freeze panes. So I want you to just pay attention to it, because when you are building our management system, we will use it a lot. So the next item, we are going to talk about data validations. Data validations. So let me remove the freeze paint for now. Then if you want to remove it, select the same thing. Go to your view tab, under view windows, go to freeze panes, then on freeze panes. Now you can see all of them are moving. I want us to do something. You can see we have gender column, and gender is basically male and female. But if you want to build systems where you want to be able to validate it, you don't want them to type anything that can spoil your system. How you are going to do it? You are going to give them a select or a drop down where they can type. So we are going to just accept only males and female at this column. So if you type anything that is not male or female, we are going to reject it. So if you want to do it, select the rows for which you want to apply the validation. So I want only this side. Go to your data. After data, there is data validation here. Click on this little drop down, choose data validation. Then now the pop-up menu will appear. The first one is settings. That is where you choose what you want it to be there. So we have any values. Here I don't want any values. I want to choose a list. That is a drop down. So because I need a list or a drop down, then they ask me what is the source. Sometimes the source you can upload an Excel file or something, but I just want to type it. So I'm typing female. No, let me type male first. Male. Then okay. I'm just typing male. Then I'm also typing female. Let's see something. If I click on this, okay, the range cannot be found. Okay, so just ignore this equal to sign. Now you can be able to finish. Then it's done. So here, anywhere you get this side, you don't want to type anything. You just want to choose male or female. If you get here, you can choose male and female without the person typing to spoil anything there. Okay, so we are going to do more about validation so that you see how powerful this tool can be. Okay, so let's dive deeper into the validation that we were talking about. So let's quickly select it again. So if you want to do any validation again, you have to, let me clear all the validations. You can clear them. So you start the whole thing again. You go to list. I need female and what? So let me start with male. That's my own preference. Male and female. Now, what should be my input message? So my input message is going to be what they are going to see. So I'm just going to let them know that choose. Then here I say your gender, right? Choose your gender. Now, what if the person types something that is not correct? There is an error in it. What do you want them to see? I want them to see warning, right? And what should they see? I want them to see invalid, then what should be the message? So maybe invalid, then I'll tell them that choose again. Choose again. I want you to pay attention so that if you don't understand, you follow the step and repeat it again. Now I am done. If I put the cursor on any of the cell, I will see what? Choose your gender. So if I choose my gender, male or female, so let's say I type MAL like this in here and I try to enter, they are saying what? Invalid. See the warning sign is here, the message is invalid, and they are saying what? Choose again. So I want to continue, yes. So it is not going to accept it, but you can type male. So let's say male or whatever, because it's correct, it will accept. But if you don't choose something that is not there, it's not going to accept it. So this is what we call data validation. It helps you to keep these cells secured. The reason we are choosing this validation is if you start to work with Excel functions, the formulas, and you are writing our own formulas, and you don't secure the cells and you just leave them like that, you are going to have some loopholes in your formulas and your formulas will be crashing left and right. So make sure you always apply the data validation to validate the cells. Let's do the same thing for this level. So here we have level 100 to level 700, right? So let's say you go here, choose data validation, then you go to the settings here. I choose list. When I choose my list, I want level 100, I need my level 200, I need level 300, 400, 500, 600, and level 700. Okay, 700. Now you can see they are showing here. Sometimes what you want to type can be a lot, right? You may have so many things, so you having to type them will not be efficient. So how you are going to do is this. Let's create another sheet and name it, let's say meta. And inside this meta, we are going to have, let's say, inside meta, let's say levels, right? Let's say we have the meta as levels, and level we have 100, we have 200, we have 300, we have 400, we have 500, we have 600, and lastly 700. So these are the various levels that we have in our meta. So sometimes you may have so many keys that you just want to import them. So there is an Excel sheet. We are going to do so many functions on only this sheet. We won't use it for anything else. So now let's go to our validation. Let's override this validation. Go here and data validation. So let's say clear all validation. If you want to start the whole validation again, let's choose list. Then instead of list, we just want to choose from that Excel sheet where we choose Chairman. So equal to, then we want to choose something. So choose this to just minimize it for you. Now this equal to is telling us that we need to choose some file. So you go and click on meta. Okay, if you click on meta, then you select what you have here. If you select, now you just open it. You see it has selected them for you. Now you can go to this one, as I was saying. So the message will be, so let's say choose, then let's add the other here, your level. Now what should be the message? So let's say this is invalid in case they enter level 800 or something that is not here. So you can say choose again. You can ask them to choose again. Okay, you can ask them to choose again. When I click here, it's going to work because we have them here. So let me repeat this again in case you got lost when I was using the formulas. Go here, choose data validation. Once you choose data validation, just type equal to sign. Then when you type equal to, just press on this button, this one, to hide it small. Now choose the file you want. We need this meta, right? This is the meta we want. Then you select the levels that you want. So you click here to maximize it. Then you go here, input, all the messages are accurate. You click OK. Now if you type 800 or any level that is not here, it will not accept it. You are saying retry, it will not accept it. If you like type something that doesn't exist, it's not going to accept it. This is what we call validation. The data cells are protected, so whatever you enter is what belongs to what the cells. So this is what we call data validations, and we are going to use this. I'll be mentioning this and mentioning it always, that we are going to use, so make sure you pay attention to it. So here you can just choose gender for them. If you use the fill handle to drag, it will give all of them to a particular gender. Okay, you can choose for them. Then that is all. Let's look at the next item. The next item here. So here for our next item, we are going to talk about how we have linked buttons, so how we can merge cells. Okay, if you want to merge cells, so assuming let me go to the dashboard for you to see something. I want to type this word, welcome to my Microsoft class. Welcome to my Microsoft class. But you can see this, it's only occupy only cell what, H3. If you go to cell H4, there's nothing there. It's only here that is having something. But meanwhile, you can see it is crossing all this. If you like hit this, you can see it is expand, meaning it is only inside that column. What if you want it to be big? You want it to cover all this side. You just have to what? Select the cell you want this text to cover. Then you hit merge and center. You see it has merged everything. Now all these things, if you select, it's showing as G2. All of these are now one file. You can go to the home tab, then you can make it center. You can select the entire text. You can make it bold. You can increase the font size. You see how this works. Sometimes you can even change the color or anything that you want to do here. Is that okay? So make sure you select. So what if you did it mistakenly and you don't like it? Just have to click on the hit and center again. Now you see everything is gone. Okay, so that is that. So that is how we do hiding. Let's talk about some sheet tabs, then we bring this section to a close. Talk about sheet tabs. You see all these sheets have various tabs, validation and the rest. Sometimes you want to change the color. Right click. You see you can delete it here. You can rename it. Let's say you don't like the dashboard, you want any name, you can change it, but I like it like that. So let's say you can right click on the meta table, meta file, then you change the color. Let's say you give the tab color, let's say red. If you go to any tab, you see this color has become red. You can right click it. You can protect this sheet. You can put password 1234 and this 1234 and this. Nobody can type anything. They will tell you that this page you are trying to use is protected. If you want to use this page, you right click, then you click on unprotect sheet. You type the password, then now you can type. Moving on from our sheet tabs, we are going to learn how to hide Excel grid lines. So what I mean by that is we have these lines. Each of the cells have lines, okay? But in a case you want to have dashboard or something as we did previously, you may want to hide these lines. So if you want to hide it, you only have to select a range. So let's say I want to do it to, let's say, this side here. Then I go to this fill color. Then I choose just a color to cover it. So that's how we hide it. So you may not want to choose so let's pick this color. Okay, I like this color. Okay, this, anyone that you want, I'm choosing this. Now when I go to this side, you can see I'm not seeing the color, but the cells are there. If you put it, it's telling this is what O15, this is what L10. They are there, just that you can't just see. This is how we hide the lines. Moving on, we have sheet and workbook encryption. So if you want to encrypt your workbook, let's say you are working on this sheet, and after this sheet you want to put password on it. I believe we did this initially. You just have to try to save this file, go to save as, then when you are browsing, where you are choosing whether you are saving it on your desktop, or I always save it in Jessie. Anything under tutorial is in Jessie here. When I get to this site, I go to tools, I go to generals, and the generals, you put your password. I have some password there already, so it will be there for me. But if you don't have password, you type 1 2 3 4, then you repeat it. Also, you type it continuously. After that, you are good to go. When you are done saving this file, let's close this document. Now let's try and open it. Okay, let's try and open it. If you want to open it, there is a password here. That is the, don't forget the background one is not that, it's not part. Okay, so you type your password, repeat the password. Now it is going to open the sheet for us. So this is what we mean by protecting the workbook. Now we are going to talk about date and time functions. Date and time functions. So here, let's say on this page, I want to insert some date here. So I can just draw a box and let's say give it a thick border. Now let me just give it another one here, then give it some thick border and merge it. I've showed you all this, that's why I'm going fast. So let's say today's date. If you want today's date, you have to select it again, make it bold as you want, then increase the font size. You can align it to center. Then let's say today's date is, let's put another box here. I want us to make this thick border. Then let's merge this as well. Then let's type the date function. If you want to type date, you just have to type now. That's all. And this is going to give you the date here. But you see, this date can be customized in so many forms. You can go to this numbering, choose here, and this is the date options. We have short date that tells you only today's date, being 13th of December 2022. If you go there again, there is another date format that tells you only the time. So this is giving you the time that it is 2:26 as at the time I am doing this recording. So this is how we do the date and time functions in Microsoft Excel. So this basically, we have a long date. Let's reduce the font size so you can see it well. It tells you today is Tuesday, 13th December 2022. So this is basically all that we are going to do about this. In our next video, we are going to talk about how to build a database management system. As you can see, talk about the functions, then we move on. Thank you for joining.